Look, man, they are showing their true colors. It's not a conspiracy. Certainly, when I'm saying things, remember if I speak on something, it's because I have thoroughly analyzed it. And I'm not talking out of my ass. I'm not doing it. Let's get right into it. Writer of The Independent, KT Roberts. Now that we've got a female Thor, let's topple every pale male and stale superhero character we can, stealing a few spots from original characters. At the front of the box office race is not only positive but absolutely necessary if underrepresented actors are to have a fighting chance. White leftist KT Roberts is speaking on behalf of quote unquote underrepresented actors. Superhero movies are important. That's not an opinion. It's true. Avengers Endgame is top box office film of all time, raking in $2.79 billion and watched by millions. Superpowers get bums on seats, and sneaking in social justice messages under the radar is tried and tested way of speaking to the mass. I don't even disagree with that latter half because that's exactly what it is. That's the one thing that I always credit leftists for, is that they hijacked culture and knew that it was a key vehicle when it came to, I mean, I don't want to say, I use education really loosely, but to really, I mean, you call it propaganda, right? But to get a hold, certainly, of that next generation, to spread out their messages, they know that the battle is not going to be won strictly in politics because that's the lagging indicator. It's going to be won in art. It's going to be won in other cultural things that people are a part of in their everyday lives. I'm going to get off of that. I've said enough about this goddamn thing. Now look, again, it was never a conspiracy. It was never about none of that nonsense you guys were talking about. And I really do hope that some of you fools that have been moderate on this issue and think that we're just being I'm certainly me. I'm not gonna speak for everybody else, but you think that I'm over exaggerating. I don't speak on things unless I thoroughly have researched it, unless I've thoroughly analyzed the situation. That's the only reason I would speak on something. I do. That's why I stay in my lane. Everybody asks me, hey man, what's your opinions on this? What's your opinions on that? I don't know, and I don't care enough, right? If I speak on it, I understand it, and I've been doing videos in this regards for I don't know how long. Look, they don't care about any of that stuff you're talking about. It was never about, oh, well, what if they're just the best actor for the job? Like, fool. Come on, dog. There's no shortage of white, black, female actors. None of them. There's no shortage of them. None. They're everywhere. There's no shortage of them. It is on purpose. If they race swap, gender swap, or anything like that, it is on purpose, certainly when it comes to actors and actresses. And these are the same type of individuals that, again, you see this shit being done in comics, like with female Thor, Jane Foster's Thor, which is a terrible line, which happened about 5 years ago. These people are the same, right? And a lot of them wear their politics on their sleeve. You're freaking delusional, man, if you don't think that it's going to bleed off into those mediums, right? Certainly with the Trump election, that sent everybody over the deep end. So everybody's letting their politics be known. You know how much of an insufferable leftist Chris Evans is on Twitter. Guy that plays Captain America. They're everywhere, bro. And of course, that is going to be sort of shown in the art. It's not coming out of nowhere, bro. They're letting you know they're letting you know, bro, what their approach is. None of that nonsense y'all been talking. This is why they've been parade, man. This is why they love when shit like this pops off. Certainly if it means that they can stick it to fans. They don't care about legacy of characters. They don't care about the grinder that these characters have been put through throughout the years. Again, making this possible. Therefore, making this possible. They don't care about that. They will hijack whatever fandom they can. They've done it. I don't know how many more times they have to do it for you guys to realize, okay, look, there is a really effort, right? They're going out of their way to do this because they're doing that. They're letting you know what their agenda is. It's not a secret, bro. I'm not talking out of my ass when I'm like, dude, these fools exist to hijack cultures. These guys do not really read these comics. They do not really consume this material. They don't care about these characters. They will Google them real fast to become experts on it for the sake of an online conversation. But that's about it. Everything else is about their agenda, and they're trying to stick it to the dissenters. And they are trying to utilize these art forms, this entertainment, to inject their social and political views. That's the direction that we are going. I've been telling y'all this shit, man. It is not a secret. This is why it's not because there's a shortage of characters, right? There are so many black characters, for example. There was no reason to have Idris Elba play Heimdall. There was no reason to have a black Valkyrie. There's no reason for that because there are numerous amounts of black characters that exist that either of those, if you thought they were a good actor, could have filled those roles for the sake of Marvel characters. There's no shortage of them, yet they're doing that. There's no reason to bring in a tokenized version of Thor. Was no reason to bring him in the comics. There's no reason to bring her into the universe. Nobody was buying that damn comic. Nobody cared about it. They're only doing this shit to stick it to people, right? That's the only reason, because it's not like this shit was in high demand. They'll pretend again. You're going to get people that pretend like they wanted this, but go. And that's what I love about the internet, is that you can go and look up like trends, right? You can look up, search trends, engine trends and stuff like that to see what people were talking about. And yes, obviously it's going to be an uptick when something as massive as the Marvel Cinematic Universe is announced, but it's not like Batman. It's not like a Superman, which those are massive characters, but it's not like these other characters. It's not like this is a high demand character. Nobody was asking for Jane Foster's Thor, yet they gave it to you. And now you're getting people that are championing this like, yes, we did it. We're sticking it to them. Underrepresented, right? Like, actors ought to have a fighting chance. Underrepresented. First of all, that's a nonsensical term. Who the hell is determined what? And first of all, I advise all of you guys to take a look at my video when I talk about representation and the gimmick of representation, as well as the gimmick of diversity, which is something that these losers are instilling in a lot of your kids. And they're saying that, hey, the only way that you can relate to an individual is if you look like them, and you don't really look like them, is if you have the same amount of melanin in your skin. You're the same skin tone, you're the same gender, you're the same sexuality or something like that. That's the only way that you can relate to this character. Therefore, we gotta change. Yes, it's illogical, but that's what they're operating on, is that, okay, well, you need this amount of black people, this amount of gay people, this amount of Hispanics, this amount of white people, proper, like, there's no proper amount. Whatever the damn story tells is the thing that it tells. If you get a something that is exclusively black, fine. Black Panther, fine. Exclusively black setting, that is perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it. We don't need no damn other races in there. That's not necessary. Maybe Shang-Chi could be exclusively Asian. That's fine. You do something based on the Asgardians, it can be exclusively white. That is perfectly fine. It's not necessary to try to push for that shit. And it's nonsensical to act like people can enjoy or relate to something or like a character just because they're the same. My favorite fucking hero is Batman, right? Bruce Wayne is white as hell. We don't even relate in terms of economic situation or reality or anything like that. I'm just fond of him. My favorite character growing up was The Flash, because I'm fast. I was an athlete. I thought that was really, really cool, being a youngster and seeing somebody whose superpower was to literally run fast. Barry Allen's white. I see all the time in my background, I got all these female characters. Catwoman, I love. Storm, one of my favorite characters. Top 5. Misty. Like, I love these characters. Wonder Woman, which you can kind of see in the top right corner. Like, I love these characters. They're female. Like, it's nonsense, right? But again, it was never about having accurate depictions. It was never about having the best actor for the position. No, they are telling you straight up, yo, we coming for your characters. You saw the Eternals. I haven't done my video on that. I'll do that here soon. But you see the Eternals, they have race swapped, gender swapped so many of those characters. They are coming for your characters, bro. And there's no reason. It's needless. There's no shortage, again, of actors. If you want to do Eternals movie, you can get actors that look like them, sort of, that can be depicting those characters. That is not a problem. That is not an issue. They're purposely doing this. They have to go out. Dog, it ain't about who the better actor is. That's not what this is about. You have to go out of your way to say, look, we are going to purposely race change. We're going to purposely gender change this character. We're going to purposely change their sexuality. This is what they do. You have to go out of your way to do that. That is agenda. Because you don't have to. My God, like she just highlighted, Endgame sold all of this money, man, or sold all of these tickets, all of this money they've made throughout the box office. There's actors that are itching to be a part of that, of all races, of all ethnic makeups, of all genders. It's not any problem. Well, both genders. It's not any problem with that. It's not in. It's easy. They're purposely doing this, and you got people like her. She's letting you know. This is what we should do. That she's saying it's necessary. They're letting you know what their agenda is. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, bro. This is stuff that I've analyzed, and I can see this shit from a mile away. And you think that other people could see it, because it's not that difficult to see that, okay, there is an effort to purposely do things like this, to get these copies of established characters, to try to piggyback off of them, to try to race swap them. Because again, there's no shortage of female characters. Why did we get She-Thor? Why did we get into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? You can't bring every person into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but out of all the characters to bring in, you bring in that character, as if there aren't other female characters. Now that you certainly got the license, I believe back with the Mutants and the X-Men, because of the Fox merger, there's no reason for this. You can bring in any character that you want that are female. There's countless amounts of them that are also not even affiliated with the X-Men. Why did we get her? Well, Thor is, just like they did in the comics, Thor is very recognizable. One of the more popular characters. Why don't we piggyback off of his legacy and just race swap? And what you have is a situation like you have now, the more prominent, outside of, like, I'm just using black folks, for example, outside of the, let's say, Black Panther universe, most of the black characters that are there are completely unoriginal. Nick Fury, formerly white. Brought him into that Ultimate Universe. You still looked, he's just had the eye patch and everything. He's Nick Fury. His name's Nick Fury. He's based off of white. Hell, even in the main universe, the white Nick Fury, which is the main first one, his son is based off the one that was modeled after Samuel L. Jackson. It makes no sense at all. But whatever. That's the situation that we got here. You got Rhodey. Before he ever even came War Machine, he was Iron Man. He was Black Iron Man. As War Machine, that's literally all he is. He's Black Iron Man. He's beefed up Black Iron Man. That's all he is. Not original. Falcon, one of the more original first black superheroes. Looks like they're going the direction, unfortunately, of having Sam Wilson's Captain America, which I hate. Because why does he need to follow in the footsteps of Captain America? Why does he, that is a historically, classically white character, leave him as such? What is wrong with him being original and black? Asgardians, Heimdall, Valkyrie, classically white characters. Again, outside of that universe, those other guys, tokenized. So this is what you have, a situation like this, and they're moving towards genders and so forth. They are bringing in unoriginal characters. Characters, again, most people didn't even fucking ask for. And then the race changing the ones that have been historically white in the comics. And they're telling you why they're doing it. They're literally telling you, hey man, this is why we're doing it. This is the reason. And then when I said, it's like, well, yeah, you're a conspiracy theory. You're yada yada. SJW's like, bro. They are telling you what they are trying to do. And it might be too late now to stop the shit because they got control of everything. They got everybody by the nutsack. So it may crash and burn, may not. But either way, which I doubt it does crash and burn at this point. It's just too big. But nonetheless, this is what you get when you let them infiltrate your fandoms, right? And I'm not a gatekeeper like that. I'm just saying I know agenda hijackers when I see them. I would love for more and more people to be a part of comic book culture. It's a beautiful thing. It's a fun thing. It's absolutely great. I've met some great people along these lines talking a lot about comics and being a comic book guy growing up. Met a lot of awesome people. And would love to meet more awesome people. But for those to just try to act like they know what they're talking about, like you get quite often of people that don't own they don't own any fucking long or short boxes, and if they do, it ain't that many, and they usually don't even read the shit that's in there. They're just getting them just to show off, just to say that they had them. This is why I was saying Jane Foster's story. If you have it, you could probably flip it and sell it to one of these signaling normies for a lot of money, because they are just now finding out about this character. They're experts on it, but they are just now finding out about this character after they looked it up on some fandom site right after the San Diego Comic-Con thing. These people are here to hijack your shit and do whatever the fuck they want to with it. If you don't think these actors and producers and they're letting you know, Trump, that's the one positive thing that came from Trump being elected, is that it turned the insane. They out themselves, right? So everybody's deranged, and they're deranged leftists right now. So they let you know. You see Chris Evans, you can go down his timeline. He's saying a bunch of dumb shit, like stuff that and they're all in it together, because the vast majority of let's be completely honest. Maybe I shouldn't use the vast majority, but a lot of these, from a political standpoint, from an economic standpoint, these actors are fucking dumbasses. Let's just be straight up. They have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. And they can get away with saying shit because people that are going to interview them and so forth, they are going to throw them all of these fucking softball ass questions and shit like that. So, and they all yell in these echo chambers. They go to their little Hollywood elites and their sort of economic chambers and award shows, right? And they sack ride each other, and they all agree. Like saying fuck Trump is that's the political position, right? You're so brave, right? Yelling in a goddamn echo chamber, softball shit. But if you don't think that that's going to bleed into the scripts or what they're doing going forward, you're fucking crazy. So expect it. But don't be surprised, and don't act like I don't know what I'm talking about. Certainly when you got people writing articles like this and they're telling you exactly where they're coming from. Get a grip.